Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 3rd day of February, 2021. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you here right now. If you can't see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the microphone, follow the instructions. Be registered in about 30 seconds. That will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. On the days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, point any internet-connected browser to cfrn.net/live. There you'll find a live real-time simulcast of the show, but you just won't have access to the chat box. Having access to the chat box allows you to ask questions and participate in the discussion. We also stream live during this broadcast at youtube.com/CFRN. If you happen to be listening to this broadcast after the fact as a podcast on iTunes or iHeartRadio, Spotify, you can hit pause on the podcast player and go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/CFRN, and there you'll find over 1,600 daily shows that have been archived, and you'll be able to see the charts as we talk about them. And of course, if you're driving, you need to keep your eyes on the road, just listen to the podcast. But if you're in a position to also see the charts, it will give more meaning to the broadcasts, so do that, okay? All right, let's open with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you today for your blessings, your mercy, and for your grace. We thank you that you have allowed us an avenue, an opportunity to reach out and talk to and speak to traders all over the world. Thank you for this broadcast. Thank you for your purpose for it. We know that when we gather together, you always have a divine agenda. And we love you for that. That even when we have done what you have asked, the results are so much greater than we could have even imagined. Even in failed attempts, you blow us away with your faithfulness to provide whatever it is that we need. Not always what we want, but you know what we need. Our prayer today is that your will be done through this broadcast. Take what we have prepared and multiply our efforts as only you can. Steer our intentions to align with your righteous will. Remind us of your faithful provision when our efforts fail us or fall short. May all glory go to you when we reach the finish line and climb over any benches that we have set for our. Blanket us with your peace. Keep us physically safe and guard our hearts and minds from pride and selfishness. And keep love at the forefront of our minds today and the guiding light for what we set out to accomplish and celebrate. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, happy Wednesday, guys. Today is Wednesday, and David Grant of the Golden Journey will be joining us at the top of the hour, 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you're listening to this broadcast after the fact, whether as a podcast or as a vodcast with video, if you're here to talk about the Golden Journey, if you're here to learn more about G999, I encourage you to watch the whole show, but if you want, you can fast forward at this point to hour 2 of the broadcast, and that's where you'll hear us talking about G999, the Golden Journey, and the new lifestyle card. Yes, friends, the day has come, and we talked about this years ago. Everybody shook their head and said, hey, come on. But you can now walk into the Circle K or the 7-Eleven, and just as you would normally pay with your debit card by swiping it or inserting it for the chip. You can now spend your cryptocurrency the same way. People used to go, okay, well, yeah, but what do you do with it? Okay, so now I got some. What do I do with it? I can't. There's no place I can spend it. Now there is. We'll talk more about that in great detail in the second hour of today's show. Right now, let me give you the numbers from around the world. These are the cash markets, the indices, as they're called. Starting in the US currently, the Dow, hang on, there we go. The Dow is up almost 1 point. NASDAQ is up 49. S&P 500 is up 10. The Russell 2000 is down 6.5. Now, I was talking to some guys in the discussion group right before the show. This move up that we're going to look at in a moment in the S&P, be careful. This could be what they call a bull trap. In other words, the market looks like it's going to go higher, and it has gone higher, but don't fall into the trap. And I'll show you the numbers that I want you to be focused on so that you don't fall into the trap, okay? In the commodity basket, crude oil up $1.42. Now, a move of $1 in crude oil is $1,000 if you're trading futures. A move of $1.42 would be $1,420 if you're on the right side of the trade. So crude up $1.42, trading 56.18 last. That's a gain of a little over 2.5%. Gold up $3.60, trading 18.37 last. Silver up 61 cents, trading 27.01 last. That's a gain of a little over 2%. You know how very bullish we are on silver, not just short term, but long term. We've been talking about this for months. I believe the move, once we get above $30 and hold the pullback, I believe the run from 30 to 50 could be very brisk. Silver has been to $50 twice in history. Now, we will, I'm sure, run into resistance at $50, but once we break 50 and hold the pullback, I've seen, forecasts out there that are, I don't know, hard to believe, but for many reasons, technical and fundamental, I think a lot of those numbers are very possible. I have an interim target above 50 personally at $75 and 100. I received a report the other night that's talking 250. I saw another article written by somebody semi-famous, and they're calling for a $1,000 target. We'll see. We're going to trade what's in front of us, okay? Also, this radio broadcast, while we talk about trading and we cover a lot of different markets, nothing that we do or say is a solicitation to buy or sell any security. Investing is risky. You can lose all of your money and then some. You should always consult with a licensed investment professional before making any investment decision. And if you choose to take our free trial and become a part of the CFRN family, you must first go to our site, CFRN.net, down at the bottom, click on the disclaimer disclosure page. There are CFTC required disclosures and CFRN disclaimers. It's very important that you read that, okay? And I say it not just because we're supposed to make you aware of it. On a heart level, I want you to understand that this is a business, and as with all businesses, there's profit and there's loss. With futures, because you're using margin and leverage, that old saying that you lose all money and then some, it's true. So make sure you understand it. If you don't have a broker, if you don't have a licensed investment professional in your life, you can always call Bert at Daniels Trading. His number 866-922-5500. 866-828-3310. 866-928-3310. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 284 points, 1%. Shanghai dropped 16. The Hang Seng rose 58. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down $8 points. Trying to do too many things at one time. The DAX finished the session up 98 points, and the CAC was unchanged on the session. That means there's a daily doji on the CAC. That gives us a mixed day in Asia, mixed day in the UK, and it's a mixed day here in the US of A. We have the Dow slightly in the red, NASDAQ positive, S&P positive. Now, by the end of this session, the Dow and the S&P will most likely be on the same side of the street. Who's got it right, the S&P or the Dow? Well, we'll trade what's in front of us and time will tell. Also, before we go to Michael to get a recap of what happened in the room, those of you who are following G999 and those of you who follow the official Price Maker channel, Bruce, the guy who makes videos on the official Price Maker channel, he will be joining us this Friday for an interview at 1 p.m. Eastern. So the show starts at noon. We'll get all of our normal business and housekeeping out of the way. And then this is going to be an exciting time for many of you. You've never had a chance to talk with Bruce or ask questions, but you've seen the videos. So the man behind those videos, the man behind the official Price Maker channel will be right here on CFRN Friday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern. And Bruce, I know how busy you are, and I just want to let you know that we all appreciate very much that you're taking time out of your busy schedule to come and visit with us. Guys, we'll be talking about a number of different topics. If you have questions, bring them with you, okay? Michael, if you're ready, take it away.
I am ready. Okay, here we go. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. You should be looking at my screens.
You are locked and loaded. Take it away.
Okay, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd day of February, 2021. All right. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here at CFRN.net. Scroll down to where it says free 5-day trial, no credit card required. Click on that and you'll be brought here to this page, EminiTrainingschool.com. On this page, we give you some information, really basic information. You really got to get into the free trial to see it all. But scroll down to where it says, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. And you can tell us a bit of trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training just for you. Excuse me, here it comes. So we can tailor one-on-one training just for you. Hit the send button and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that link, we don't know that you hit the free trial. We don't know that you took the free trial. All right, so you got to click on that link. Now, the recap. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today kind of started off with a bang. Everything was really fast right at the beginning. And it sort of slowed down toward the end of the morning session, but it was pretty quick trading for the first hour or so. Today, as I said, is the 3rd day of February 2021. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, we made 10 ticks in crude, 17 ticks in gold, and 43 ticks on the ES. Put us at plus $807 per contract. Today, it took 5 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 30 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're 3 days in, we're at $3,050 a contract. That's averaging $1,016 per contract per 2-hour trading day. We've now gone 235 consecutive days of getting the goal and 22 days so far this year, 22 consecutive days. That means we're on our 22nd day of the year. So on the year now, we're at $17,385 a contract. That's over 790. I mean, that's averaging $790 per contract per 2-hour trading day so far this year. Okay, I keep raising that number up. It's harder to keep. All right, so let me get into the actual trades that set up today. Now, gold, let's see. Yeah, we had a bunch of trades in gold. Okay, so let me just go back to the beginning here in gold. Okay, here it was. Our first trade in gold was right in here. On the very first trade, we only picked up 1 tick on that. Okay, then we had some activity in here. We had a YBR short trade right here, and this was kind of a borderline trade to take because the black step line was right on top of the BBC right there, and it worked out, you know, pretty well. But I didn't do that one. There was one here that I missed, one here that I took, and on this one I picked up 4 ticks to put us at +5. Then I stopped out to go to -3. Then I picked up 7 ticks to go to +4. I missed that trade. I missed that trade. I missed that trade. Every one of which would have been profitable trades. Then I followed that up with a break-even trade. I missed that one. I missed that one. I picked up 10 there to put us at +14. Then break-even, another break-even, another break-even, and then I picked up 3 on this one right here to put us at +17. And I had a break-even there. Picked up another 3 here to put us at +20. Somewhere in there, now this was a 5 to put us at +25. And one of these must have been, this one right here, I think must have been a plus something, +3. And then we stopped out, our last trade of the morning, we stopped out. So that put us at +17. Okay, now during the break, there was a long trade from right here. And yeah, you could have taken a bounce off the BBC right there. It would have been a break-even trade for me. There's a YBR short right there, but that moved down. And that was it on the gold. We finished with +17 this morning on the gold. Hang on, my phone keeps blowing up, so I want to see why. And I have a feeling I know why. Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. So on the crude oil, and I've been warning everybody about the crude because crude has just been, with everything else being so active, crude has been setting up trades like quietly in the background, setting up trades, and then, you know, by the time they set up, we missed the trade. And it did it a few times today. Here was one that would have been a nice trade. Here was another one that would have been a break even. Here was one that would have been profitable. Okay, then finally we caught one over here. We picked up 10 ticks on that. And we missed one here. That would have been nice. And on this one, we got a break even. Okay, and then we hit another break even right over here. Let's see, during the break, there was a long opportunity right here and another one right here. Okay, let's see if on the short side we have anything. We're not really strongly trending right here. We didn't get step 3, so we don't really have a trade set up here on the short side yet. Okay, now we get to the ES because we did have a bunch of trades on the ES this morning. Hang on, I'm trying to scroll back. There we go. Now our very first trade on the ES was this one right here. It did go to the target, would have gotten us the goal for the day, but I didn't move my stop fast enough, and I ended up getting a break even. I moved my stop to break even, and it came back and took me out at break even. We missed the second trade because I was dealing with this trade. This would have given us the goal for the day, but we had to wait till we got the third trade. On the third trade right here, we did get the goal for the day, so we're +8 on that one. Picked up another 8 on this one to put us at +16. And then we had a break even there, and we stopped out on this one. That put us at back to 8. Okay, and we had a break even there, and yeah, I have a random trend line there. I was trying to draw the trend line, but it ended up not being needed. And the break even there, and we picked up 6 here, it looks like, to put us at +14. I think that's where we picked up 6. And 3 here to put us at +17. Oh, sorry, that's gold. I'm sorry, on the ES, We had 8, then we picked up another 8, then we lost 8, then we picked up 6 to put us at plus 14. Then we needed a 12 tick trade somewhere. I think that the 12 tick trade was this one right here to put us at plus 26. Then an 8 tick trade to put us at plus 34. Then that looks like it was a break even trade. And there's a big trade there and a big trade there. I'm not sure I got them all registered in here, but yeah, this might have been the 16 tick trade, the 12 tick trade. And then that was followed up by an 8 tick trade to put us at plus 34. And then there was one more 7 tick trade somewhere. Break even there, a break even there. I don't know, somewhere in here was a 7 tick trade that we picked up to put us at plus 43. Oh, a 9 tick trade, I'm sorry, to put us at plus 43. This might have been the 9 tick trade to put us at plus 43. That sounds about right. Anyway, that was the ES on the morning session. It was really active in the very first few minutes. So if you were in there for the first time today, your head was probably spinning. But Dwayne took everybody that was new into a separate meeting. I think he did that around 10 o'clock, 10 or 10:30, into a separate meeting to go over stuff on a slower, well, just knocked it down a gear or two. And I think the people that actually went to that enjoyed it. All right, so with that, we'll go back over here. Hold on, let me find the right one. This one, to the spreadsheet. If you're gonna read the spreadsheet, you gotta read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. This spreadsheet goes back to January 2nd of 2013. So we've been doing this spreadsheet forever, and it's our daily results going all the way back to then. Today, as I said, is the 3rd day of February 2021. We made 10 ticks in crude, 17 in gold, and 43 on the ES. Put us at plus $807 per contract on the morning session. And today it took 5 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 30 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're up $3,050. That's over 3 trading days, averaging $1,016 per contract per 2-hour trading day. Now it's been 235 consecutive days of getting my goal, and so far 22 this year. Okay, so now we're at $17,385. That's over 22 trading days, averaging $790 per contract per 2-hour trading day. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go to the homepage here at CFRN.net. Scroll down to where it says free 5-day trial, no credit card required. Click on that and be brought to this page, eminitrainingschool.com. On this page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Okay, we give you information about what we have to offer, and it's way more than what you see here. But all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. You can tell us the biggest trading channel so we can tailor one-on-one training just for you. Hit the send button and you'll be sent the confirmation link. You must click on that confirmation link. Okay, we don't know you took the free trial until you click that link. So don't forget to do that. Okay. All right. Now, with that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona at Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. And there it goes.
And yes, we are back.
Okay.
Okay, recap of the recap.
Today it took 5 minutes and 3 trades to get to $100 per contract.
5 minutes, 3 trades, hit the daily goal.
Yes.
Now, guys, about that, he tells you every day how long it takes. It's not a competition. Try to do it as fast as you can. But ask yourself this question: how many hours a day do you currently spend in front of the charts? Now, if you're brand new to trading, of course, there's a lot to learn and absorb. But there's also a lot of stuff out there that you don't need to absorb and that you don't need to learn. If your goal is to make X amount of dollars per day, whatever that goal is, then you really only need to learn what's necessary to accomplish your goal. Spending all those hours, and once you understand the basics, this is a chart, this is a candlestick, this is how I read price, this is how I read the indicators, and this is the simple strategy that they've taught me. You know, once you have that, now any time that you spend in front of the charts beyond what it takes you to reach your goal for the day, you got to ask yourself, is that time that could be spent in some other way, some better way? Most people get into trading because, well, of course they want to make money. But a lot of folks who have already a career, maybe a business, or you work wherever, you've retired now, and you would like to have extra money, additional money to do something with. Now that something could be for you and your wife to be able to travel, or maybe you want to build, you know, some kind of building for your church that you belong to. Maybe you have a heart for orphans, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked. What I'm trying to make is you don't have to spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours a day in front of the charts. Again, it's new, you're eager. If you're brand new, you know, you're eager, you want to learn as much as you can, but don't get overwhelmed. Don't get overloaded. There's 1,000 different ways or more. There's 1,000 different ways more to trade, okay? But you need one way. And so where a lot of traders have problems is they try this, maybe it works for a day or two, it doesn't, and so then they do this. And so if you find yourself constantly switching from this thing to that thing, this thing, that thing, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, why don't you just settle down, find a home, okay, whether it's us, learn a methodology, learn a strategy, write your business plan and your trading plan, which our 24 blueprint will help you through that process. You identify who you want to be as a trader. You know, maybe you're the guy that does want to sit in front of the charts all day long, but maybe not. Maybe you'd like to just come in, make your money for the day, go do life, go do whatever that thing is that God created you to do. We did an interview years ago, a couple of interviews with a guy, Michael X. This guy, institution unto himself. And if you Google CFRN interview with Michael, he interviewed, he was an arrogant guy. He was not a guy that came on the show to pound his chest about how, but he knows to be true. He trades 10,000 Emini contracts a day. I'll say that again because you think you heard me. He trades 10,000 Emini contracts a day. He doesn't put them all on at once, but he spends most of the day in front of the charts, trading in size that, you know, ordinary folks like you and I can imagine, right? During those interviews, I asked the question, Michael, what do you consider to be a good day in the market? Now, because he trades so many contracts, I figured he was going to give me some dollar amount, you know, be it 100 grand or 200 grand or whatever the case, because we're talking huge numbers here. The answer was, and you can go listen to the interview, it's out there. His answer was, Wayne, any day that I can take a couple of points out of the S&P, that's a great day for me. My jaw dropped. I almost dropped my mic, except it's on a stand, so I couldn't really drop it. But it was one of those mic drop kind of moments. I'm expecting him to give me a dollar figure, but instead he said, any day I can take a couple points out of the market is a great day for me. Here's a guy who started small. And I asked him these questions too. So how'd you get started? Well, I started trading, you know, with one contract, and then, I started trading a few as I found success, and I just kept building my size over time, which is the same thing that we teach. But to hear him come back with that 2-point figure after Michael and I have been teaching people this whole 2-point idea, for ages now, since 2008. Michael and I first started trading together in late 2005, early 2006. So 2 points a day can earn you as much money as you want or need to earn. The thing is the number of contracts. Okay, in the room, Michael trades one contract because we want to make sure that when you qualify to go live, if you become a passport holder, once you go through the blueprint and you put together your 10 consecutive days in a row in SIM and you get the green light to go live with one contract, we only want you to trade one contract. You've had enough experience with blowing up accounts and all kinds of other horrible things. We want to see you on a different path, a different journey. We want you to have a different outcome this time. And so people are going to do what the teacher does. And so if Michael was in there trading 10 contracts in the room, then everybody, when they go live, would try to trade 10 contracts, and that won't end well. 2 points is 2 points, but the psychological noise in your head as you increase size is huge. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people go, man, I was killing it in SIM, got my goal 10 days in a row, no problem. Then I went live and everything changed. And I say, no, everything didn't change. You changed. No, I didn't. I'm doing exactly the same thing. No, let's walk through your day to day, step by step. And eventually I pull it out of them and I help them to see, because they might not even see it themselves, but I get them to see that, okay, because it's real money, instead of doing this, I did this because I wanted to be more cautious, less aggressive, whatever. So I finally get them to admit that they changed us. I said, you can't do that. Whatever it is that you practiced for 10 days that gave you 10 days of consecutive positive results, the last thing you want to do when you go live is start doing something different, because you haven't practiced something different. You gotta stay the same. And so,
yep.
I'm sure live with one contract. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say, yeah, and just to add to this, I was in a meeting with one of our partners yesterday, and he's successful now. He's making money consistently every day. I'm knocking on wood for him. But he said, I feel like I'm ready to start some of the other trades. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. You're making money consistently doing what you're doing. Why would you want to change that? Why would you want to step away from being consistently profitable to taking a chance in making mistakes and learning something new all over again that might influence the decisions that you're making right now that are making you consistently profitable? So I just wanted to throw that in there because it's along the same line.
I agree. I agree 100%. Whatever it is that you do in SIM. Joan says there's no voice in YouTube. Thank you, Joan. The mic's on. The mic is on. It's on there. It's on there. Hang on, Joan. Let me check. Let me see what's going on. Let me go to the YouTube page. Live. Okay.
You're listening to CFRN, our community. How we do it. If and in absolute community of believers who trade for a living.
It's another reason I love you shouldn't fiddle around with stuff when it's working, because I fiddled around with the microphone last night. Now it's pumping out audio here because I see the microphone pegging. You can hear me, Michael. It's just the people in YouTube that can't hear. And why would that be? I've unmuted the microphone that leads to YouTube. That's a problem. You guys see part of the problem when I go to make presenter, even though I have made the name change, showing up. Okay, you still there, Michael?
I am.
You are. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna log out of the. When I go to make presenter, my name doesn't show up in the drop-down list, even though I've already. Yeah, I see yours and Valerie's.
Yeah, I don't see yours in there right now.
Yeah, let me look real here before I have to do.
Do see it on the other one though. The staff
Right.
one.
Yep.
You know, over there.
I see that. And it says connected audio. I'm going to log out to webinar. I'm going to log out of our streaming software, and we'll scrap this first part. No, actually, Valerie is recording. Thank you, Valerie. She's always in the background recording. So we'll use her recording to upload to YouTube today, but I want to try to get the YouTube working. So if you can take the screens and talk about something for 3 to 5 minutes, I'll be back. Okay.
All right, we'll do that. Here we go. Okay, what do you guys want to talk about? We talk about trading. We have a trade sitting up right now on Crude. That's the silent one. We have a high here, 56.03. We're going to have a low of 55.99. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, who have not been in the room in a while, what I like to do when I see, not this, sorry, when I see something like this coming together, what I like to do is give you an idea of where it should go should we get the trade set up. Now, okay, let me, hang on a second. I am going back and forth with someone else. Just let me copy that and paste that in the appropriate place. All right. So what I like to do is give you an idea of where I think the market's going to go if the trade does actually set up. Now, right now we're looking at a high here of 56.03. So we're going to look at a low on this bar at 55.99. So what I would do is say, okay, well, it's got a low of 55.99. It's, if you get a down closer at 55.99, what I would do is this right here. Okay, I would put a sell stop on right there at 55.98. Now, where do I think this is going to go? I think it's going to go right there. Why do I think that? Yeah. Chinese secret. No, it's not really, but I think it's going to go down there. I think it's actually going to go a little bit further. Right now we have great separation right here. We just had a pierce to the envelope from the bottom on the DMT. It suggests that we're going to get enough to get the goal for the day on this one trade. So that would actually be here on crude oil, but I'm going for here to start with. And if things change in the orders by the time we get down there, well, I'll change my target. But for right now, that's what I'm looking at. If we look at the ES, right now the ES is trying to set up a long trade. I see it coming together in a couple of different places. One of those places actually had a long from 38.30 and a half. And right now, we need to pull back here and get the green line down below the cycle. Okay. And yeah, so that's what we're looking at right now. And so we'll see what comes together with that. We're still waiting for crude oil to continue down here. And well, then we'll see. Now it says, I think Dwayne's coming back in right now. It looks like he's trying. There he is. I hear the voice.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Question now to somebody out there listening on YouTube. Please know if you can be on YouTube.
Yeah, either Kent or Joan, if either of you can listen to the YouTube right now and say whether you can hear Dwayne or Kent just left. So it's up to you, Joan. It's on you. Or anybody else that's listening to YouTube at the same time as this right now.
Yeah, Lee reached out to me, so I know he's there too.
Okay.
So on YouTube now, do you hear me? Need a question. Need a test. 1, 2.
Okay. That test is for the YouTube folks.
And I don't even hear you on YouTube.
No, because everybody says that usually they hear me just fine on YouTube.
They said there's low volume, so that's why I was messing around with some different headsets and microphones last night, which is what threw it out of whack. Joan, do you hear me on YouTube or no? I got nothing on YouTube. I don't hear you or Michael. I mean, me or Michael.
I don't hear myself. Okay, the crude trade is starting to come together right here, guys. As we get the pullback here on the ES, we just broke dynamic resistance on the ES, and as that pulls back, the crude should probably drop down with it. And we got to get our risk off of that crude trade as soon as we can, because if we're showing long on the ES, we might end up with a long coming up here on the crude. So we've got to get our risk off of that trade as soon as we can. So I'm looking for a close below the MA1 or 4 ticks in profit to bump the stop to break even. I do think crude's going to drop down to 55.91.90 area, and I'll reassess it if it does drop down there. See if I can push my target out some more. That's what I was doing last night when I was trading last night. You know, I would get down really close to my target, and then I would see another target area. So I'd move my target out a little bit further and a little bit further. You know, trading at night, you know, you can make a meal in the middle of placing your trade and exiting the trade. Well, I could last night anyway. So that's what trading at night is like. For those of you who are interested in doing it, it's really slow.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Can hear me, but can anybody hear us on YouTube? That's the problem.
I do not know about that.
All right, well, I'm just going to keep going. David's going to come on top of the hour, and if people can hear you, I'm sure they're going to be able to hear him. So
Okay,
there we go.
there you go.
Okay,
We'll just have-
I'll take the charts back.
Okay. Remember, 55.90, 55.91 is where I'm thinking this is going to go on the crude right now. Once we get down there, I like 55.88. If we get down through 55.90, 91, 55.88, it's not a far cry from there, but it's looking pretty good right now if we work the way down there. All right, that's it. Dwayne's got everything, and I have a meeting I got to do.
Yeah, and you know what? Even though I log back in,
Yes.
when I go to Presenter, I'm still not popping up. It's probably going to require that I reboot my computer. That's really going to probably take for some oddball reasons.
Yeah, I see you're not up there as a presenter. You know what? Let me try this, Dwayne. Let me see if I can make you the presenter. Hang on.
Yeah, try that.
Hang on, Dwayne. It says you. Wait. It says you are. Let me make me the presenter again.
Okay.
Okay. Show screen 2. All right. So now, let me click on you. Make presenter. Here it goes. There. I don't really want your keyboard and mouse, but
Gotcha. Okay. So
well, I
now,
see your chart. I mean, I see your screen. But it still doesn't list you as available as a presenter.
Isn't that's so odd? Huh.
You know, when I log
Okay.
off, check it when I log off, because I'm going to log off
Okay.
right now because I got a meeting that I have to do. But
All right. All right. That
check
sounds
it when
good. All right. We'll muddle on. We'll get through, and then we'll get it fixed by tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Now I'm using a headset now, and it's the headset I was fooling with last night. Is from inside of the GoToWebinar. Is the audio quality okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, because that's what Valerie's going to pick up on the recording, and that's what we'll end up uploading to YouTube later. So
Okay,
sorry,
yeah.
YouTube fans, we'll figure it out and get it fixed. Okay, all right. Let's shake a leg here.
One more thing about the crude trade. I like 55.88 better than I like 55.91 right now. I'm going to bump my target out to 55.88. So that'd be a 10 tick trade right now.
On crude, speaking of crude, last night, guys, we had a logic alert to be long at 55, and I was trying to teach about the moving of the stop, how it's different in the larger time frame than it is on the range chart. So we triggered once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and we went from $55 to $56. That's $1,000 per contract move. And we kept going. We had crude inventories today. And this is our highest weekly trading zone for crude, 55.90/95. So even though we've spiked above it, by close of business on Friday, we expect to be at it or below it. So, okie doke.
Okay.
All right. And David has joined us, so I'm going to get David's mic open. David, I'll get your mic open in just a moment.
Okay.
Guys,
Valerie
so
may
far,
have to do that, Dwayne. Let me see.
No,
I can probably do it right now. I don't know if do you have permission to do that right now? Are you down in the staff one?
Let me find him in the.
I mean, I can just open it right now.
If I right click it, yeah, I can make him the presenter. Sure. Okay. Yeah, it gives me the pop up. Okay. Yeah, so something's weird. I'm sure a reboot will fix it. Okay. All right, guys, real quick. This is week 131 of Logic 247. Logic 247 is our around the clock Emini alert service. So while Michael teaches you 2 hours a day in the room, the underlying strategy, okay, how to put on and take off the trades, we also around the clock provide you with opportunities to actually use what you've learned in the room. Because you can watch a video of Mark Spitz swimming every day for a year and you'll never learn how to swim. The only way to learn how to swim is to get in the water. The only way to learn how to trade is to trade. But we don't want you trading real money when you first start. We want you in the simulator, putting on, taking off trades until you put together 10 consecutive days in a row. So start Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern until Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. We feed you a steady diet of alerts so that you're able to, when the alarm sounds, you go to your computer, you look at the alert, you look at your chart. I want you to understand why the use here, why the initial target's where it is, why the second target's where it is. This is how you learn to trade. You trade the alert in the simulator. With the goal being is that you eventually learn to find these opportunities yourself without help from me or anyone else. So far this week, we've issued 50 alerts, 12 never triggered, still waiting on the results of 3. We've had 30 actionable alerts so far this week. 2 guys stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible. We use market structure to set our stop loss. Again, we don't want to risk more than 300, but less when possible. I teach all of our traders a simple 3-step method using market structure. Now let me show you real quick as I get ready to bring David on what the actual alerts look like. Hang on. Okay. Okay, so far today, I put 1 alert out. We had a pre-market strategy session, and then we opened the second room this morning for our members so we could work on helping everyone understand how to use multiple time frames. That's an important part of the strategy once you become a discretionary trader. Last night, there's a short on silver. S is T is initial target, potential support, second target, potential support, third target. Here's a long on the NQ. Here's B is buy. Here's a long on the Russell. Long on the S&P. As you can see, those all hit their target. This was a short on the Russell. This was a short on the Dow. This was a short. Starting to hear noise come through my phone now, where I've got YouTube running. Now we'll fix it. Here's gold. This is the long on gold to be long 18.3. 4. Next target 45. Next target 1850. And then 1856.57 is the final trade 2 target overhead. In Q, initial target, second target, third target, fourth target, fifth target, weekly trading zone. Okay, so that's how you read the alerts. They flow around the clock. Alerts could come at 2 a.m. Your day session is somebody in the UK's night session and vice versa. If you don't be awoken by the alerts in the middle of turn notifications and tell so that you don't get woke up. Now, important prices, important areas are almost always, so even if something triggered while you were sleeping, there's a high probability it's going to trigger again. Last week, for the entire week, we had 74 alerts, 13 never triggered. So we had 61 actionable alerts, of which 6 were stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract trade, 10%. An average week over the last 131 weeks now is 20%. So that was a better than average week. And I said I would give you the bull trap on the S&P. Okay. Potential bull trap. Prices cranking, right? We come off this. If you're in the pre-market strategy session, I told you to expect support at 38.07. There's 38.07. Okay. Buyers come in, they drive us up through the weekly zone at 15/16, and they take us up to last week's weekly zone at 30/31. And the green line, we call that the BBC, bull bear cross. Just means above it we're bullish, below it we're bearish. So we've pushed up to resistance. I expect this to fail and give us another leg to the downside. Well, what if it doesn't? That's okay, because as a futures trader, we can trade long, short, whatever the chart tells us is appropriate at any given moment in time. Right now, we do nothing. We have to wait for this candle to finish. If we start printing a red candle, then we'll have a trade to the downside. If buyers are able to overcome the resistance here and the resistance here, we then have a window of opportunity overhead from 38.37 up to 38.39 initial target, and then the final trade 2 target would be 38.42. So you might write that down. That's if buyers, at this point, I don't think they'll pull it off, but we'll see. Anything can happen. 38.37, 38.39 to 38.42. Okay, beautiful trade if that's how it plays out. Okay, this window of opportunity that we drew earlier today in the other sessions, as you can see, that window got filled, and this big window here that we drew, that got filled, and then some. So with that, let's go to David. Let me get your mic open, David. And I'll make you the presenter at the same time. Got to put you again. There you are. Okay, David, I opened your mic and I made you the presenter.
Okay,
And
good afternoon.
I can see it. Hey, good afternoon.
Hey, how's everything today doing? Sounds
Well,
like you're having fun.
I'm having a frustrating morning here because my audio, for whatever reason, is not coming across on the YouTube channel, and Michael's was coming through clearly, and I'm sure yours will too. So what we're going to do, Valerie records everything in the background just in case technology fails us. So what'll happen is after we end the broadcast today, we'll take our recorded version that has everybody's audio, and we'll upload that to YouTube, and we'll take down the failed broadcast. So you're live, you're streaming, everybody in the room here can hear you. I think even if people on YouTube can hear you too, they just can't hear me. So good to see your smiling face. I look forward to it each week. I enjoy spending Saturday mornings with you while I have my coffee. You did a great presentation this past Saturday morning. For any of you that missed that, there is a link available in our Telegram channels, on my Facebook page. But David, tell us what you want to talk about today.
Well, we have a few things that we're going to go through, some pretty exciting news, and with just next steps of a project, right? You're always looking for what we're developing here, and that we know there's a lot of buzz out there on Bitcoin and really all the cryptocurrency world, and yet we're still at the early adopter stage within a society as a whole. The difference is 10 years ago, you could have, like we know, who even knew the word. And 5 years ago, maybe 1 out of 10 people might have even heard the word. Now we're probably closer to maybe 9 out of 10 at least know the word Bitcoin, know the word cryptocurrency. But the reality is, of that 9 out of 10, most of them are still, what is it? We don't get it. We're nervous with it, all of those things. And yet this is a week where major announcements have come along in the world of cryptocurrency, where institutional money is coming into Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin. So it's a world where people are saying, I'm curious, scared, curious, and they go back and forth between those two ideas, I think. And then they see, like, some would even think, oh, if Bitcoin's at $35,000, I can't afford that coin, and they don't realize you could buy, $100 worth of Bitcoin at any time. So there's a lot of education that we can bring to people with the project that we're involved in, and Dwayne and I are working together, and those that would like to come part of our community, in that where we're learning about Bitcoin in a very, very healthy way, and without putting anybody at risk. And I think that's the big fear factor that's out there. I'd like to learn it, but I'm really, really scared. And I understand that, and we appreciate that. We've designed a way of doing things so that we take the fear off the table and just say, come and learn with us. And it's kind of like, at the same time, you have to think of it first term of university, first year university, a little bit nervous walking in as a student, those that can think back to that day, or those that are involved right now. And we know, hey, we don't know it all when we go into university. That's the point. We're learning what we are, we're looking at a target 4 years down the road of what this might get us into. Why do we go to university these days? A lot of times it's not always about the education. It's about the education that can make us viable and financially. And that's how people are thinking about education. So we're doing something even simpler, because we're learning about money, the history of money. We're learning about how to interact with money. We're learning how money is actually a really valuable resource that gets squandered all the time because we don't know how to share it really with the heart that I think we're bringing into this. So there's a lot going on, but the biggest question I have come across in the world of cryptocurrency, Dwayne, isn't even the mystery of it and how does it work and all of that is, but if I do that, what can I do with it? If I get that, what can I do with it? And that's the solution that we actually have right now. And it just got launched yesterday as one of the products from our company through GS Partners, where we now have a debit card that is can be used. It's a debit MasterCard, but it is not a credit card. It's a more like a prepaid card that we actually can put cryptocurrency on, turn it into a currency of five of the major currencies in the world can be converted into. That card, Dwayne, is a game changer in the crypto world.
Absolutely, absolutely. You could walk into a Circle K now, buy a big gulp, and pay for it with Bitcoin or G999.
It's a little bit of magic going on here. I'll show the screen on this card we're talking about. We're not going to talk about the card all day long, but at the same time, I've got it opened, and we always, as a group, in the way we do things, we like to get it in our hands, start playing with it, find all the nuance that goes with any new technology in your hand, and bring it back in a user-friendly way for everyone else. So we that's where we are right now as a group, just working with it, playing with it, moving a little bit of Bitcoin around on it, and seeing what it is, seeing how the fees work out for us, all the different variations that go with it. But the nice thing is people can come in and get this card through us. And I would say if you're really interested in that, it's one you can come in and play with a virtual back office with it and see what that feels like. And that's a $10 one-time spend, no monthly at all. To kind of get your feet wet, go through setting up the account and through us, and then you can, those that say, hey, I just kind of want to kind of jump in, and which is the way I approach it. And I didn't jump in real big with the card. I simply got the $69 plastic card coming to me. That's going to include a $20 a month spend, but it actually is a spend that creates rewards or commissions within our business model as well. But it looks like we have a card that's going to go to a good chunk of the world, not all of the world right now. It's in over 100 countries. The US, Dwayne, did you notice, if you went through that, did you notice how many states in the US we're not in right now?
No, tell me.
We're in, well, there's 16 states that we're not in directly right now. And so we'll figure out a way to do that. I mean, the company obviously has, because we have such a powerful base behind it, activity creates momentum, which creates desire to, expand and develop that. But the U.S. is so regulated, Dwayne. My goodness.
Oh yeah.
Not for the safety of people, not for the care of, like, I don't mind regulation that, like, I like regulations like, drive on the right side of the road. I'm happy with that. I feel safe on the highways when we follow the rules of the road.
Right.
But there are some regulations out there that are not there for the common person. They say they are, but they're really, really there to serve the powers that be, if you will, in a way that's not human, not healthy. And I think the U.S. kind of is emulating that right now. I mean, New York isn't in. Florida, I can't do the card with right now. I can't do California. You can, and it's a few other places.
What about Arizona? Is Arizona on the list? Not on the list?
I'd have to go and look at Arizona. I think Arizona's fine. I know Colorado is off the table right now as well. But there's 16 there. But the whole thing is,
it's all going to change. Some people might say, why would I want to go through the trouble of using this card? Why can't I just keep using a regular, debit card? Okay, let me explain. Your debit card is probably tied to your checking or savings account. Your checking or savings account, if it pays you any interest at all, it might be 1% annually, 2% annually. Would that be about right?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
And I think an annualized return of 2% on a savings account is probably tall cotton. Okay. Bitcoin is up 6.9% today.
Yep.
So think about that, folks. I don't know what somebody smart with math out there, you might want to give me an annualized. Now, just because it's up 6.9% today, it could be down, 6.9% tomorrow. But my point is when you put your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, whatever crypto you have into an account, see your Bitcoin, it's gaining value, okay? Not because the bank's paying you interest which you can do that too. You can put your crypto in a savings account where you get paid a rate of return based on interest. That's one way of making money. But the second way is just the sheer fact that Bitcoin today is up 6.9%. And so if you had money in a crypto account and you could go out to dinner tonight and have a very nice dinner, just based on the fact that Bitcoin is up, 6.9% on the day. I may not be explaining this. I don't want to oversimplify it, but I certainly don't want to complicate it. So I'll turn it back to you. But that's because people are looking at these numbers going, well, why in the world would I pay $20 to get a card? I already got one. And then why would I pay, let's see, it's a $69 initial fee and then $20 a month. Okay. You can decide if this is certainly not a requirement. If you want to own G999, if you want to be a part of the golden journey, this new card that's out, it's just an option. You can choose to use it or not choose to use it. I'm just personally, I'm gonna choose to use it. So go ahead.
And the beautiful thing of when we're able to use it in this dynamic way, we're actually going to be able to, my whole goal with Golden Journey that we've talked about, and we'll go into that in a little bit as well, is about connecting people around the world. Therefore, everyone who has one of these cards that we're using, and you have a loved one out on vacation and something happens, we can immediately in a nanosecond get money to them from card to card, just free. Like if everyone had, like if you had a son or a daughter with a partner's card, this GS Lifestyle card, just boom, oh, okay, there's a couple $100, honey. Get out of your whatever predicament you're in right now, and let's get you home, or let's get you mobile again, because money is a wonderful thing when you have it, and it's a crushing concept. Even like it's an idea. Money is just an idea that we agree on, but it crushes people terribly when they don't have it. And if you're ever stranded anywhere and you're, oh, I lost my wallet, or I don't have my wallet with me, and I don't have my cards on me or anything like that, and you kind of panic a little bit, because without money you're kind of snookered, and it's very challenging. And this card gives us fluidity around the world. I have projects that I enjoy working with people. Now with the card, I'm able to, if I have a crisis that's in front of me and I want to support that, I can just quickly get some money anywhere from Pakistan through Kenya to South Africa to Chile to Costa Rica, and all up through Mexico and part of the US of A. But we're able to do a lot with this card, and actually even take from this card and put it on somebody's regular credit card as well. So we have many, this card is like a full service banking card, if you will. And it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to try and put up a 2-minute vid on this, and then we'll kind of close off on that, just to kind of wet the whistle for people. It's one where you can come in, and I would say somebody even coming in and look at it, have a look at it through us, and then make your decisions accordingly that are good for you in that. But for sure, I've been dreaming of this card for a long time, because I wanted to connect people, and the card gives us this in probably the best way I've ever seen. So it's beyond good. And this isn't a new technology. This card has been being used for several years now. We just have access. We never had, the average person never had access to it till today. This is going out to every man, every woman today, that anybody that wants it can get into it, within the restrictions of
how long does it take for delivery?
Well, I ordered mine last night. Next week when we're chatting, Dwayne, I'll have the card in my hand and see. And I'll have. Right now, I'm doing my research, figuring it all out, and in the meantime, people could simply register with us for free and come and sit and watch and participate that way. Like we like to experience, and then kind of we like to do show and tell. Right now, I'm doing a little bit of tell and show, but it's happening, so I could not do it, because in the crypto space, and once we get this and start using it, there's all kinds of cryptocurrency people already out there that are going to just salivate over the card. I'm getting phone calls now regularly where people want to be in because of this card. And, you know, and there's like, oh, that's got a network markety feel to it, an MLM feel to it. And I said, yeah, and I'm not asking you to go out and talk to 1 million people or anything like that. It's the card, and this is the way to get it. Come on in, and, you know, just like any good customer, come in and get what you want from the system. You don't have to get all hung up on, you know, the rest of that. And it's an environment that's a very invitational environment, and people can come and see and learn and grow. It's kind of like, you know, how Jesus is, when they were first hearing about Jesus, hey, come and see this guy. What's going on? Let's have a look and make decisions accordingly. And that's what we're doing right now. Let's have a quick look, though, at see if the sound comes through for us, okay? On will this work? I'm doing it off of just a website. Will the sound come through for this swing?
Probably not, but give it a whirl.
Yeah, let's give it a shot and see.
Give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Is that working?
No, you'll have to hold. If you can get your microphone down close to that. No, we can't hear it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine in that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have
yeah.
to. The way this GoToWebinar works is typically any kind of video or sound file that we're going to play during the broadcast. I have to upload that ahead of time.
Oh, okay. So anyway, I thought I'd give it a shot just to see.
What is it you're trying to play? Is it a video?
It was like a 2-minute sizzle video on the thing, but we can post a link for that for those that want to go have a look at that after the after we're done here and that.
Okay, yeah, we'll do the link, and then going forward, any week that you have something like that you'd like to play, send it to me ahead of time. I'll upload it into the GoToWebinar platform, and then we can play it. Everybody can see it and hear it.
Okay, and we'll do it that way. And yeah, we're kind of playing it by ear here as we kind of do and with it and that. But so that's about the card. So we've looked at that, kind of get our heads around it a little bit. But it's for me, it's going to become for me, it's our lead product for
why would someone want aluminum? Why would someone want steel or gold? That's like what they call a vanity card. I mean, you know, if you want to feel important, you can, but there is no additional benefit that I'm aware of between the aluminum, the steel, or the gold plated. That's 6 grand. How much does that thing weigh?
About 60 or 70 grams for the solid gold one. And,
okay. And a gram of gold is how much these days?
What's a gram? Gram's going for about 70, 75 US, maybe 80.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And so that's there. And yeah, it's like, yeah, some people want the flash, I guess, or whatever. And that I'm kind of like, every man.
I mean, who are you trying to impress? The waitress at Denny's?
Exactly.
And you know what? If I hand her a solid gold card, I'm going to really keep an eye on her to make sure she comes back, you know, with my card.
Exactly, and that. So no, I'm the guy that wants the plastic card. The one that I may upgrade to later on is the aluminum card, and I'm used to saying aluminum, but I guess out in the world it's aluminum. But and where I grew up, it's aluminum. Yep, me too. And but the rest of the world seems to say aluminum and that. So anyway, you know, a rose of any other color or name, but it's still going to be a rose. But the aluminum one does give 5 fiat currencies on it that you can move things around with it and that. And so that one might be a value, but also notice that the monthly increases to $35 as well. So it's one you'd have to, you know, you make educated decisions. I'm going to get the $69 one. No, you know, no worries for me.
Is the plastic limited to any one particular cryptocurrency?
It's coming in with Bitcoin as a wallet, and then you can add other wallets to it. It has 7 or 8 of the key crypto wallets. But again, I'll be able to talk more authoritatively or experientially next week on that one. But even for me though, just talking about the way crypto goes, you look at that spend for the aluminum one, 395 USD, so whatever that is in Bitcoin, we'll say. But you wait 2 months and if you have, so say I was going to buy it today in Bitcoin, instead I would buy the $69, wait for Bitcoin to go, you know, wait for 2 months and then buy the 395 with the increase that the Bitcoin went up in value. That's kind of how I would leverage it. And that's how literally how I will do it for myself. And that I that's like, yeah, like Bitcoin's doing its thing this year. Institutional big news today is number of the big institutional money players are at a 2-day crypto conference. Understand CEOs out there don't know anything more about crypto than you know, guy on the street. They're not conversant in this language, but they're worried about all the economy and what's going on, and they're finding out, ooh, there's other players coming in. Oh, there's another player coming in. Oh, there's another name coming in, and they have FOMO, which your traders would understand that language, that fear of missing out. And guess what? They're just like everybody else, and they're saying, man, I better get throw my hat into the ring. I think Elon Musk has finally said, you know what, I'm late to the party, guys, but I'm here.
Yeah, he finally broke down. Mark Cuban finally broke down. The Sage of Omaha finally broke down. And the bad boy of banking, Jamie Dimon, you know, he finally broke down. So they're all coming to the table because that's where dinner is served. I published an article this morning off of Cointelegraph, which, by the way, guys, our news site is up. My guy's still putting some finishing touches on it. We're also rolling a site, G999news.com, but our cryptodailyinfo.com, it's up and functioning again. We've still got to do some housekeeping and fix a few things, but it's good news. But this article that I shared this morning, the headline reads, "Late on Crypto, ? Institutions still at early stage of Bitcoin adoption." And that's what's important for everyone to understand. The last time crypto made its run up to 20,000, that was on the back of retail traders, speculators, okay? This time it's, you know, I know you always hear this time is different. Well, this time it's different because this time there's institutional participation that wasn't there the first time around. Institutional investors are seen to be rushing toward Bitcoin at high speed, with more companies even that look to adopt Bitcoin as a way to store their reserves. Recently, Marathon Patent Group, Nevada-based Bitcoin mining company, bought $150 million worth of Bitcoin as a reserve asset. You see, it's gone from being a maybe to an asset class. Back in the day, people would move their money into things like gold, you know, as a safe haven type investment. Large institutions are starting to see Bitcoin as a safe haven type of investment. So Marathon just bought $150 million worth of Bitcoin, a move similar to MicroStrategy, who just purchased $425 million worth of Bitcoin. That was back in September of 2020. The purchase made Marathon Patent Group the third largest holder of Bitcoin among publicly traded companies. In addition to Marathon, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager by virtue of assets under management, has stated in its new filings to the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, also known as the SEC, that Bitcoin derivatives now could be a part of the investment plans of two of its associate funds, BlackRock Global Allocation Fund and BlackRock Funds. This is bound to set a precedent for other large asset management companies such as Vanguard, UBS Group, State Street Advisors. Michael, my business partner, used to work for State Street. all entering into the world of crypto investments. According to research done by technology researcher Kevin Rook, publicly traded companies now hold over $3.6 billion worth of Bitcoin, which is a 400% increase within the last 12 months. In 2019, these companies barely had 20,000 Bitcoin in their portfolios, a number that has now jumped to 105,837 Bitcoins, with the single largest holder being MicroStrategy.
And that is getting attention in a big way. There's a few guys out there who don't quite get it. They're going to try shorting it, and they're going to be really sad when they as they do that.
Yeah, they're going to, because it used to be that retail traders had FOMO, fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're seeing institutions experiencing FOMO. And it's going to reshape the world as we know it.
Yeah, well, let's face it, they know very well where the writing on the wall for where the economy is going in that, and even no matter what the media, that the mainstream media is saying on it, that, you know, people do not, you got to look under the hood a little bit to see what's going on in the economy, and it's, you know, pretty intense. And so here we are working on a project that is the right time, right place, right product, everything coming together, where we're able to get, again, every man, every woman into learning about this. We're hearing institutional money coming in. I didn't understand something for quite a while. I kept hearing the numbers where, you know, predictions conservatively, Bitcoin going to 150 US, 150,000 US, 225 US. I've heard others at 350. 150 is a good place to land in terms of a conservative view. And the reason it needs to, will get there this year is because of the institutional money coming in, but also it will keep it at those kind of values or higher because of the institutional coming in. They don't come in for 5 minutes and leave. They're not traders. They're not doing that. They're coming into, you know, for safe haven, safe harbor to secure their assets, because they're going to watch a lot of any other assets kind of really getting kind of beaten up in the markets and the economy, the way it's going to go in that. So they're literally looking at this for those reasons. So when Bitcoin's getting up to the 150 and 200, the fear people have had in the past was, well, we saw it go from 20 at its peak a couple of years ago and then back down to 3, which from the trading perspective was actually well documented. A lot of traders thought it would come back from 20 to 3. That was its cycle. But that cycle is going to change now because of institutional money and the stability that brings. And what it brings to the crypto world is less volatility on Bitcoin. The other coins, though, are still going to have a fair bit of bounce going with them, as people are saying, well, I'm not in Bitcoin. Is there some other value coins out there that we can look at? The beautiful thing we're doing, Dwayne, is we're getting rewarded in Bitcoin and Ethereum, so not a bad thing to get. I can't, people might say I can't afford to buy it. Well, you don't have to, you can just earn it. And at the same time, getting in on a coin that's trading at a little bit less than a cent, but has incredible utility potential over this next year in many, many multiple uses in that. And that's a different conversation. We're not highlighting that one today, but that's what we're coming in to learn about, grow in. Very soft landing, get our bearings, find out about these things, get the conversations going around the water cooler about what we're doing, and start making some, in an economy that is just jammed with fear right now. We've got to find a way out, a path forward. And I'm not talking in one country anymore. Like, we've never seen an entire global collapse all happening in front of our eyes, but that's probably where it's going to go. I'm not trying to create fear here. I'm just trying to be realistic with what's happening. And
so
and
you just said something important, I think. If people don't have money to invest in crypto, you said that they could earn the money to invest in crypto.
Yep. And let's transition into that. So in GS Partners, again, it is one where in any business you need customers. I can't imagine a business working without customers. Elon Musk would not be where he is without a customer base.
They tried that back in the late 90s. It
Mhm.
was called the dot-com bomb,
Yeah.
where, you know, investors poured all of this money into companies that had no revenue model. You know, they had a website and they had a clever name and maybe somebody had an idea, but you know, once the irrational exuberance was over, people realized that without paying customers, no business can remain a business. And we saw what happened. I mean, investors were late to the party. They got destroyed because they were buying, you know, Yahoo once traded at $400. That was before Mark Cuban cleaned their clock with broadcast.com, but that's another story for another day. I think Yahoo today, if it even still trades, it's at like $4. Now, Yahoo actually had paying customers, but there were so many companies that never had a business model that generated any profit. And when people came to their senses, everybody headed for the exit at the same time. And that created one of the biggest crashes in market history.
Exactly. That literally is what we don't want people doing. We need our customer base. We need strength. And in fact, when you're bringing in a new coin, people say, well, how does it work? Well, it works if it's being used and becomes a true utility coin rather than a speculative coin, which is all people really, when people hear cryptocurrency, they think it's an investment. The core value of cryptocurrency is it's the people's money. It's just taken time to start becoming the valued, and people are, you know, obviously we put the values on any money, any currency that comes along. We choose the value. We choose the value. Why is gold such a precious asset? It's because we agree that it's a precious asset. It's a human expression. I mean, ultimately, gold is just a rock. It's just, you know, it's a pretty rock, but it's a rock.
Right. Yeah, it is. And there's a finite supply of gold. When God created the heavens and the earth, He created a certain amount of gold. He sewed it up in the belly of the earth, and then He stopped. Now, our crypto CTG, which is Christian Traders Global, the CTG token, when we first rolled that out at our pre-sale, everybody was able to, all of our members were able to get in at $1. Then came the crypto winter, where, as you just said, Bitcoin went from 20 grand to 3 grand. And so we went into sort of a hibernation phase where we just took our project, we just kind of put it on the back burner, and we, you know, we didn't throw in the towel. We just says, well, we're going to wait for what's happening now to happen, you know, mass adoption to start. We'll then bring it back out and we'll start our marketing and our education and all of that again. But prior to the crash, CTG traded as high as $40 a coin.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was really poor timing that shortly after the last trade went through at $40, it's built on the Ethereum blockchain, so it's ERC20 compliant. Last trade went through at like $40, and then Bitcoin had its crash. So we've all just been sitting on our hands, just being patient, which brings us to where we are today. And as I was looking to get CTG onto one of the major exchanges, I was astounded at the price to get on a Coinbase or any of the other big name exchanges. It's about 50 grand. In fact, it starts at around 50 grand to get listed. So we're in the process of laying the groundwork to open our own exchange. And so not only will people be able to come and trade, buy and sell CTG on our exchange, they'll also be able to buy, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum and G999. The Christian Traders Exchange, it's coming to an internet browser near you in the near future. And we've all been watching the official price maker strategy very closely because what a beautiful blueprint us to follow as we bring CTG back into the public eye. In fact, Bruce from the Official Price Maker channel, he'll be on this show Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we're very much looking forward to that. And David, if you would like to log in and join us, maybe you have a couple of questions for Bruce. The invitation's there, brother.
Okay, well that would be fun to do, and I'd really enjoy doing that. So just depending on schedule, but I would imagine I'll be there for, to have a peek at what Bruce is saying, because I've enjoyed how he's showing the markets. He's been using the price maker strategy very similar to the one that happened just recently that hit all the news, where they had to shut down trading on GameStop or something like that.
Yeah, we've seen the power of
the little guys taking on big Wall Street, and Wall Street shut them down. They weren't doing, they were doing what Wall Street has been doing forever. Wall Street says, no, little guys do that. That's, oh, we're shutting you down. We do it and we make a lot of money and But with little guys did our game plan. No, we're not, we're going to shut you down. We're not going to let you do that. So you can see how corrupt the system is, if you will. And I mean that corrupt. I mean, it is diabolically corrupt out there, some of the stuff that happens. But they just kind of showed them for what they were. And I think that's a good thing. On a different note, as we're looking at this idea of money, we really want to expand our understanding of money I really think money has been used more as a weapon than it has been used of a way of enhancing lives. I'm talking around the world. How can, we're living in, essentially the lap of luxury historically, even, like we have so much going for us. And at the same time, we're seeing this huge disparity within our own nation, within our, we can go into all kinds of areas in the US or Canada and say, wow, there's a huge disparity here. We have very rich people living in gated communities. And what's that mean? They're very fearful. In my mind, I'm not, if anybody's living in a gated community, my apologies for saying it that way. But that idea of this class system of money and everything, it's taken a lot of our humanity out of the process, and we monetize trees and water, and my goodness, we're monetizing senior citizens now in residential facilities that are on the stock market, meaning the shareholders are more important than the people in the buildings that they're caring for. They monetize seniors of all things. So we're seeing a lot of stuff out there that we need a better world in how we're interacting and stuff like that. We need to get money back into the toolbox rather than being this weapon that's been used with people. And that's what we're able to do in this project, is actually create. I have this slide up here talking about passive income. This is a massive unicorn in the network marketing industry. It's always talking about, come on in and in a short time, or put some effort in, and eventually you're going to get some residual or passive income in that. And it never happens for, it happens for the 0.1% in the business, if you will. And the average person just gets run over like a steamroller, and basically used and like tissue, and then thrown out when they're no longer producing for people and all of that. That's not a model I enjoy. I do want to, and we have as a community created a model of building that is not traditional. It is, if people hear me saying networking, whatever you have heard in the past, this is not that. And I guess that even that can sound like a little boy crying wolf. This is different, what we're doing. This is saying we can help the average person, and what we're doing is actually helping 87-year-old grandmothers and create an income in Uganda. 100-year-old, one of our team members is 100 years old. We're doing it in Peru. We're doing it in Costa Rica. We're doing it and going to be supporting the work you're doing in Uganda, and and to have that spill over into Mexico. We're doing it in such a way that everyone can thrive within that. We just take a little bit of time, build it properly, and it's a model that introduces not making millionaires of people, but giving people real calmness, if you will. And we're doing it really with this kind of energy that we're looking at. When we say 2 by 2, we really literally mean just 2 by 2, and that's it. So you come in with a couple of people. We don't even have, well, I have people who've never brought in anybody who are cash flow positive, like seriously cash flow positive, because in this model, we're able to do it. And interesting, just the way the geometry worked on the way I showed that, that triangle is pretty cool geometry, because you're probably familiar with the name Buckminster Fuller back in the day. And, you know, brilliant man. And he created what they called geodesic domes that you see around the world. The most efficient, probably, building. It's kind of odd looking to us in that, but most stable.
When I look out out of the studio here, I'm overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. And right at the base of the mountain, where it goes from being public property to property that's owned by the state of Arizona, or city of Phoenix anyway, it's there's a property line, and somebody built a dome. There's houses that are built right up, you know, as far up the mountain as they can until they hit the line. But from the studio window, I can see a geodesic dome. It's been there for many years, and it's kind of fascinating. And you can see it for miles because it's kind of sitting up elevated at the base of the mountain. I'll take a picture and post it on the Telegram channel one day.
So it's kind of, it's just the way it worked out. We didn't, you know, I didn't realize even that we had this design within what we were doing, but I just saw it and I kind of like that kind of stuff, because I thought, there's a design here. I'm not quite seeing it. I knew what I was doing. I knew I wanted to do a 2 by 2 build. We've ended up with a compensation plan that actually makes it work for us and makes it lucrative for people, because ultimately you're going to put the effort in. You got to get a good return on energy. I don't really talk about return on investment, ROI kind of thing. I like to talk about return on people or return on energy, because money is energy, but people are energy as well. And so you do want to get a good return on things, and that's making, and the way you get the return is the connections. It's making it so everybody's connected and everybody's thriving. And when everybody's thriving, we're all doing well, and we got peace, love, and harmony going on around the world in that. And you know, Jesus said, you can't really serve 2 masters. Doesn't work. Not a good plan. And yet, how many people are in worry and fear and overwhelmed over money situations? And when we're in worry and fear over those things, it's kind of our master. You know, we can have a declaration, no, it doesn't master me, it doesn't rule me, it doesn't do any of those things to me. And yet money, we know what money has been. And I love cryptocurrency because this is the first time in history, in my understanding and the research I've done, it might have been done in some little pocket of the world at some point, where the people themselves chose to make the money for themselves and learned how to use it effectively with each other, sharing it. And it's borderless. It's got so many beautiful components to it in that, and it's peer-to-peer, meaning it's like sending a $10 bill, like take a cash $10 bill and put it in an envelope and send it to a friend across the world. It's left your hands. You don't have access to it anymore. It's in an envelope getting to your friend. He opens the envelope and there's his $10. That's what cryptocurrency in its essence is. It's literally peer-to-peer. It's like, who's the middleman with that $10? Nobody. We just sent it through the mail. That was, I guess, in the middleman in the way. We use the internet to do it a lot faster, of course. And we've actually been able to create the people's money, and we get to use it. And that's what our message is for this year and the coming years is, let's learn how to use it effectively. Let's let people, we have people in our group who have never had a bank account in their life. Well, we have a crypto bank account as well for people, and that's literally increases because they're earning rewards by being in part of our system in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So they're getting the G999 with the little package we have, and they're also getting paid in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's we're not fighting crypto, we're using it effectively, using it dynamically. And this is what it actually looks like in our compensation plan, because you know, you got to show me the money at some point, and I'll have another slide to highlight it a little bit more. A very, very powerful compensation plan. I'm obviously one who talks about building 2 by 2. Somebody can build 2 by 2, get that completely done. When you really total up the numbers, it comes out to 2, 4, and 8, all down to 512. That's 1,022. That's why we call it a 1022. No one left behind. It's the only thing. I've been involved in My first foray into network marketing was pastoring a church, Dwayne. I say that I hope you take that with a grain of salt and a bit of humor from my perspective.
No, I get it. Yeah.
You know, but that's what we were doing, right? Hey, bring a friend today, bring a friend
That's
to
right.
church, and
Yep.
let's express our love and our the good news to people. But it was always about reaching one more, that kind of thing. Most churches don't really get 30, 60, 100-fold returns on people, though. They usually lock in the average small church. Average church is what, 100, 150 people. We didn't really get the multiplication factor in there. And but there's a way of connecting people that in this 2x2 model that is dynamic and powerful. But I don't know limit anybody to it. But I'd say if you want to do more than that later on, that's fine. Start another one line that then you build 2x2, because 2x2 is the only way. The only way. There is no other way to get residual income for the average person than building 2x2. If I do like even 3 people, hey, I can do faster, bigger numbers with 3x3. Guess what? It breaks every time, and you'll get a 97% failure rate on it. And I know it's promoted all the time.
Why is that, David? Why does it break down?
Well, one is it's lack of cooperation, because like look at that little red 18% I have there.
Okay.
For that first line commission, first level commission. 18% looks really juicy to people, and they say, well, if I brought in 1 friend, 2 friends, 3 friends, 5 friends, I'm getting 18% every time. I would rather have 512 people making 6% rather than 50 people making 18%. And nobody gets 50, by the way. The average person coming into this business, 70% of them have never brought in 1 person. The only people that thrive on the building a 3, 4, 5 wide are the direct sales people. And people think, oh, those are the rock stars in the system. The reality is they're the only ones that can pull it off. They just have that gift, that natural sales thing that, we know people that have that. Doesn't matter what you have. I have some direct sales friends, not in network marketing. My goodness, I think if I created a thumbtack that they thought was a good thumbtack, they could go sell it in a heartbeat. They just, whatever's in front of them, if they believe in it, they go sell it. So the 18% looks very tempting to build more with it. I prefer putting people in with other people, and now we share, not just because we share values, we share money, and we share people into what I call our village, our 1022. You can have a choice. You build wide, and I'm really pushing this hard and really speaking to it very, very strongly, because when you build the wide, you're serving your upline. I'd rather serve the people that I'm bringing in and caring for and watching over. Let me highlight it another way for us, I'm making a point here, obviously, and I'm pretty passionate about it, because this strategy can take all of the criticisms that have been rightly thrown at network marketing and change this thing and turn it on its head. If people would simply simply share people, care for people, share with people, so that model is this one here, and this is this pack number of $100 that I'm showing here is fictitious. We don't have that. I can show these numbers because it's not something we actually do. The commission model is actually out of the compensation plan that we have, but this pack model isn't. And that side there where it shows that 4780 for a 1022 build, that's just a beginning baby step. But when somebody puts $100 in at the end of the build, they have 4780. Is that a pretty good ROI on $100, Dwayne?
Yeah, I think it's
on $100. Yeah, it's pretty good. Obviously, there's a lot more to come with that one. On the other side, though, people look and say, yeah, but if I do 3x3, look at what it can be. Well, it's not a fair comparison. This is the right comparison. This is actually, I'm throwing a slide up here that may show up in, depending on how this gets edited in that, where you can actually take that number and expand it into whatever you want to see what you can be done. Like a $500 package could turn into a residual income of $24,000. I would hazard to guess, Dwayne, if we put $24,000 a year into somebody's life, this is my guess, residual income, good build, strong build, actually true residual, that would make bit of a breathing room for a lot of people. I'm not saying it's going to replace, a big six-figure incomes at that point, but it would make a huge difference in our world right now. I'm kind of thinking that way.
I'm going to Google up average annual income worldwide, and it'll throw me back some kind of a chart. The median. Now, all I did, guys, was I Googled annual median income worldwide, and this is very outdated. This is from 2013. So let me search that again and throw 2021 in there and see if we get something a little more relevant. Okay. The median annual income in the United States is $65,000. In Canada, it's $46,000. South Korea, it's $33,000. In Kuwait, but let me just start at the countries with the highest median incomes are Luxembourg, 52,000, Norway, 51, Sweden, 50, Australia, 46, Denmark, 44, United States, 43, Canada, 41, South Korea, 40, Kuwait, 40,000, and the Netherlands, 39,000. Now, that's the highest median incomes in the world.
Wow. So
now, if we want to drop down to a place like, let's see, did it just give me South Africa? I'm not reading that right. Let me drop. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the list I was looking for. Now we get down to, what was that figure you gave there? 23,000.
Yeah, that's on a 500 backpack that people would be new in.
All right. So Finland, the annual median income is 24,000. This is as of this year, 2021. Republic's 22,000. Spain's 21,000. Cyprus 18,000. Greece 17,000. And as we work our way down, Argentina 14,000. Iran 12,000. Russia 11,000, Mexico 11,000, and as we keep working our way down, Costa Rica just shy of 9,000, and then if we go way down, Ecuador is 6,000 and change. South Africa $5,217. That's the annual median income. And if we go way down, Kenya is $1,800 a year.
So I would say even at and we actually will have people doing better than this. This is just an example of, potential that would be coming along for people. And
well, I mean, it's life-changing. I mean, it's absolutely, in Kenya, the average annual income is $1,800, and so you're talking about the potential. Potential to put 24,000 in somebody's life over the course of a year. I mean, that's 12 years of Uganda. Right, here's Uganda, $1,700.
So there we're sitting with a number that isn't, pushing millions or anything like that, and saying, ooh, that would make a change across the board in any society in the world. Even the richest society, this is a nice plan B coming in, that we're able to do that. And it actually is significantly more than that, but I don't want to, I really talk about connecting people first and then money follows. And this chart is just kind of showing that there is no other way to get to this number fast, because I really wanted to highlight here what really does happen in the 3x3 versus the 2x2, and to get just the way the compensation plan works out. But look at that, more people to get half the pay in a 3x3 build. I want return on energy. I want less people for more money. That's where I live. I think that way. Which way do we want to do it? I understand people's. What'll happen for people?
Less work, right?
Well, what happens is somebody could come in and build, get 5 or 10 5 or 10 people build it straight across, straight line across, and they get a few bucks. But next year, those people are done. They've quit. They're discouraged. Nobody helped them because you can't support 10 people wide. You can't do it. I can take the same 10 people though and make a huge difference in that. And even in the compensation plan, somebody goes down 3 by 3, another 2,000 people to make make a few bucks more. By then you could actually say, well, I could do 3,000 people in a 2 by 2 build and just get that done. And if I wanted to do another third person, I could make another 4780, that kind of thing. And in this comparison here, I can again do with less people making more money. So that's the goal here, is getting the best value. But because it's a number that is actually a reasonable number to work with, and it's a reasonable way of sharing in groups and within our community, we actually do get everybody solid. We don't literally, we don't have to leave. We don't have to, and we won't leave anyone behind within what we're doing here. And here's just another expression. That's not the one I wanted. And that, let me back out of here for a second, bring up the slide that I'm actually looking for. And we're looking to make a difference in a whole, very, very, I think in a much healthier way. This is the slide I was looking for. And let me bring that up for you again here. And this is really what happens in the energy of people. So think of people first, Wayne. What a novel idea, people first.
Right.
What a novel idea. It almost sounds like something Jesus might have said, right?
Yeah.
And
or Trump. Yeah.
So that's somebody starting there, and he's going to build a traditional network marketing business. He's going to bring in, and then the one down below is the one who says, I'm going to do it this little 2 by 2 thing and give it a play. So the top guy brings in one, the other guy brings in one, and now we both have 2 going on. Look at, imagine with me though, how energy is flowing here, because that top one brings in a third person. How are those 3 people connected energetically? They're not. They don't know each other. They're not connected. There's no value from each other. Watch what happens though when we do it this way. That one person now is connected to your friend. You brought in a good friend, and then one more person came in and you're good at it and you brought them in for your friend. How does your friend feel today, Dwayne? You brought in somebody, put them under them, and they made a commission. How's your friend energized? How is this 4th person at the top energized? How is your other friend energized? Watch how the energy flows here. Which one is creating energy amongst a group of people, and which one is making that direct salesperson a few bucks? Which one has the strength to last? And what we're watching is, for those that are listening, we're just watching stars go along straight line, and we're watching stars or people going with people, creating teams of 6, 7, 8, two teams of 7, and then teams of 3 and 4 and 5. While the other one, those 15 people across, and this is the sad part of the industry, all of those people across are starting still with nobody. And the person who brought them in, how does he support those 14 people across? Way to go, go work, go do what I did. I was a hardworking guy, you go work hard. That's the encouragement that comes in the system as it sits. I'm being a little, I'm being a little hard. I don't know if I'm being harsh or not. I'm saying the system is designed to create failure if it continues to do what it's been doing.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. I know that a lot of people have a and I was just talking about a similar issue before you came on today with my audience, because when Michael did his recap of what happened this morning in the live training room, he reached his daily goal in about 5 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. People who have been raised with a good work ethic, right? People who, enjoy putting in a good hard day's work. They want to be rewarded for it, of course, but they enjoy the process. They enjoy working. And so I was cautioning our traders to not let that work ethic that you have get you in trouble, because I can't count the number of times I've had to, counsel with someone who was having a really good day and made a substantial amount of money, and then they put on another trade. And not only did they, say goodbye to what they had earned so far that day, they ended up negative on the session. And so not all screen time is good time. Come do your job, reach your goal, whatever that is, and then use the time you have left over to do the thing that God created you to do. Whatever it is he's put on your heart, whatever the vision he's given you, whether it's building orphanages or feeding, the hungry, or clothing the naked, or, there's an awful lot that needs to be done in the world out there. And God created you for a purpose, not just to be blessed, but so that you could be a blessing. So I was just encouraging my guys to not get hung up on spending too much time in front of the charts. You got to spend enough time to learn, and then you got to spend enough time to get the job done, but then go live life, because today's all we got. There's no promise of tomorrow. So I said all that to now say to you, a person comes in, they're only supposed to get 2 people. So they get the 2 people, whether they get them or you guys get them for them. There's what's the term hollow victory. I don't know if that's the right word or right terms, but people feel like they want to do something, right? And like my traders, when they decide that they want to be a trader, well, they want to be trading, and I have to teach them, well, not no position is a valid position. You shouldn't always have a trade on. And I was like that when I first started trading futures. If I didn't have at least 2 hooks in the water at the same time, 2 trades going on simultaneously, I didn't feel alive. Well, the market cured me of that, disease pretty quickly. And so now it's my job to teach that to other people, that, it's just like when you go deer hunting, right? You plan for weeks, and you finally it's vacation time, and you head out to the woods, and you get out to your deer stand, and you pour deer urine all over yourself. Those who hunt deer will know what I'm talking about. You cover yourself in deer urine, and then you climb up in the blind, and you might sit there all day and never pull the trigger. If you have a 3-day hunting trip, you might sit there 2 days and not pull the trigger. You could go home without ever pulling the trigger, but chances are during that 3-day hunting trip, you'll only pull the trigger once, maybe twice if you're in some state that allows you to bag more than 1 deer. And by the way, guys, I'm not a hunter, so if I'm talking about stuff that I get wrong, please forgive me. So how do people handle that restless energy, David? What is your suggestion? How do you guide them? They've got this incredible business. They want to share it with the world. They're on fire, but they're told, only do 2.
Well, we're not limiting it to 2, but we're talking about 2 personals where you're getting that 18%. I had a gal who, when we first heard actually the change in the compensation plan that put that there, she says, so when I put my friend further down with somebody else within my village, they get the 18%. And I said, yeah. And she was like, and her eyes lit up, and she had the biggest smile, Dwayne. It was beautiful to see. Says they get more than. And she felt that was a beautiful giving model, giving of people and finances, because she said she understood when she did that with her friend going there, she was still doing the work. The person she hardly knew, might not have even known just the way the build was working, benefited from her village benefited, and she was energized. We live in a Western world that's all about the individual. Christianity, in my understanding, Dwayne, isn't about the individual, although we need to have our own personal identity and all of that, but it's about the body, the eye.
Yes, the body. It's about life together, living as a community, the way the disciples did.
Yeah. So it becomes really, really simple. Well, yeah, somebody you're really good at talking to people and recruiting, great. But we need a lot of care. We need a lot of things happening. But at the end of the day, I started the idea here is I want people to do this for a little bit, build a nice team, have that team feeling so good because the money was there. They see everything happen. The next year when they renew this annual membership, they're not renewing a $149 package, they're renewing a $999 package because they understand it and there's lots of value in that package. You know, we educate people on that, the value of that's there. Now all of a sudden they're making a decent income, but they're feeling so good because their two friends that they brought in are making good change. The two friends that they brought in are making, you know, a substantial change. We got to get our values back to people doing well because of us, and when they're doing well because of us, we're doing well as well. Like it's a win-win situation. We've been isolated about our money and we have not realized it's the most powerful way and simple way of connecting people, and it will change our fundamental view of how we do things, of how we interact with each other when we put people and money together in such a way that we all benefit. Every business guy out there wants a good customer base. I'm in business. I want a good customer base. I want a customer base that returns for the product next year. They're going to return when they enjoy the product and they've made money. That's how I think they're going to return.
And by the way, folks, money is not the root of all evil. That's a very misquoted scripture. It's the love of money that is the root of all evil. No man can serve two masters. You can't serve money and God. So I've heard that scripture misquoted, you know, we all have, you know, so very many times. But
well, we've heard it, and
money,
we have
ministry cost money. Whatever it is that God called you to, whatever, you know, passion and dream that he put in your heart that you know you're supposed to be doing, it costs money. Ministry costs money, and it's got to come from somewhere. So not everybody's cut out to be a trader, you know, and I meet people all the time who want to become a trader, but after spending a little bit of time with them, you know, I don't like to judge people, but I just see that their personality probably, you know, it's not that they can't learn to be a trader, they can. Anybody who is computer literate and can do basic math in their head, I can teach them everything they need to know in order to trade. I can't promise them they're going to become, you know, a successful trader. That's not possible. And people who do promise you that kind of thing, they're more interested in your money than you are. It's just like I could teach anybody how to play baseball, but I can't promise you you'll pitch for the Yankees. So with trading, you can learn enough to earn the money that you need to support your lifestyle. But then what? Then what comes next? And that's a question that only God can answer. And if you don't yet have a clear vision of why God created you, then talk to him and then listen, because he will tell you. Now, you may not hear the voice of Charlton Heston when you ask the question, okay, but God's will for your life will show up. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, the vessel is ready. When we make this vessel, this earthen vessel, when we make it ready, God will pour his will for your life into the vessel. And when you're operating in the anointing, you know it, and nobody can sway you. No, you know, my wife and I, when we heard the call of God to start building that orphanage in Africa, we had tons of naysayers, family, friends, concerned citizens who, you know, were afraid that we were just going to be taken to the cleaners and all that kind of stuff, right? But we knew we were hearing from God, and, you know, we prayed and listened, and we prayed and we listened, and God guided us, every step of the way. And now here it is. You know, time sure flies. We just had our New Hope Orphanage just had its 21st birthday. We started out with a house that had no running water, no electricity, and 11 orphans. And today God has turned that vision into 25 acres, over 700 kids, a couple school buildings, a high school even, all the dormitories, the baby's home, sprawling over 25 acres. Now, that's God. That's the hand of God. You know, my wife and I, we take credit for nothing other than hearing the voice of God and being obedient to what he told us to do. Obedience is greater than sacrifice. So anyway, don't mean to preach, but
hard not to when you're caring for people. I don't think it's preaching at all. I think it's sharing good news and sharing another way of looking at things. Yeah, we call it preaching, but really it's just sharing good news that makes sense. It makes sense in every way possible, because we're meant to connect with people. We're meant to share our humanity with each other. And, you know, it's a crying shame that we have children going to bed hungry at night because we haven't learned how to distribute money around the world effectively. It's not a matter of lack, it's a matter of will on our part.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no shortage. There's no shortage of food. There's plenty of food to feed the world.
Mm-hmm.
So why do people go to bed hungry? It's just like money. There's no shortage of money. Mm-hmm. However, man, you know, in this fallen state, an inordinate amount of money has ended up in the pockets of a few people. So this is truly a model for the redistribution of wealth. And I'm no fan of reaching into another man's pocket and saying, you got too much money, I'm going to have to take some of your money and give it to these people who have no money. No, I want to touch the heart of that man so that he willingly reaches into his pocket and blesses whoever God tells him to bless in whatever way that God tells them to bless those people. So I would like to see every one of our kids at the orphanage have a crypto savings account, something that as they are, and I don't know what the age requirements are, but I also know it's Africa. And
you have to be 18 in our system to come in.
So, but I know there's got to be a way to figure something out. But if
we do figure it out, Wayne, because we have grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles, and these businesses are willable into their children. So a child that, you know, and I realize not all of those connections are for people, but the reality is there's lots of ways of redistributing wealth within a family build, and you know, husbands and wives. Like when we were showing those numbers earlier, that was one person in the family. What if it's a husband and wife? What if it's a single guy, but he wants his mother in with him, and he's working through it that way? So many ways of doubling up the energy that we do to increase value, and the better we have value, the better we're able to, you know, extend that hand to those around us. So this is truly a hand, it's truly not a handout in any way. It's a true business. We make sure no one gets left behind, because let's face it, we're in some countries where $150 even would just be overwhelming, let alone be cryptocurrency on top of that. And we make sure that no one gets left behind in what we do, because, hey, we have ways of making sure that that doesn't happen. Because once they have their start, that's all they needed. They needed that one little start. It's like the microloans that are out there in great organizations like Kiva and all of that. They say once we get people started, they're able to get some dignity back in their life again. They get to, feel empowered, and they're taking control of their family and their living situations, their children, the way they want to. We don't impose our cultural values on them. All we've done is made sure that they're free to do what they want in their way. And money is the universal language of the world for connecting. Imagine that. We just never saw it in that dynamic. We had the idea that it's possible. Now we have the reality on the ground, boots on the ground, living reality. I've created a team for myself personally of over 450 people in the last couple of months. This thing works. The 2x2 model works. I would have never got there in any other model. I'm not that great. I couldn't do it. And yet I have a
So
team.
you're
of
saying
over
that by
450.
by bringing in 2 people, that has now grown into 450 people.
Yep, and our total, those who are, I have people above me as well. Our total team build is over 650. We have teams of 600, 650, 600, 550, 450 with me, and then multiple teams of 150 to 200, and then 50s and 100s. People who have never had a team at all have 3, 5s, and 10s, and it's just growing all the time for us in that. And
I sent
2x2 makes it work. Yeah.
I sent you a copy in Messenger of my unilevel tree. When you have time later today, I'd like you to take a look at that for me, and then maybe you and I can just chat online or something later this afternoon. But one of the things we've talked about today, I think that's going to become a new project for me. And even though there's an 18 age requirement for a digital crypto wallet, period, it's digital. I mean, anybody can get it. So I would like to make it my goal in the coming year to see that every orphan at New Hope Orphanage has a digital wallet with $20 of Bitcoin in it. And by the time they graduate high school, who knows what they may have, but it's a savings account. And so I remember as a kid, my parents at the local bank, they used to have what they call the Christmas Savings Club, where you would put, $5 a week in or $2 a week. And so when Christmas rolled around, you had a nice little savings account. But I think I've got to give that some thought, how I'll go about doing it. But each orphan has money in the bank, something to look forward to. Maybe they're 8, 9 years old. By the time they graduate high school, the kids in Africa go to school for 13 years instead of 12, like here in the US. By the time they graduate high school, maybe they got enough money to, start their own business or to pay to go to university or, to do whatever it is they want to do. Just seed it and let it grow.
And
Seed it and let it grow.
I mean, the reality is, yeah, we can have children getting crypto wallets. That's kind of a no-brainer in terms of that.
Yeah.
And so we have no problem getting Bitcoin into wallets for people in that. You can't be in the business part of it, but they can certainly, we can have people earning Bitcoin or Ethereum and G999s and moving them into cold wallets for kids to for later on when they're at that age to get going. They've already got a nice little start, and let's face it, by the time children are growing up 5 years from now, crypto is just going to be just a normal everyday occurrence for everybody, and they'll have a nice little starter with that. And I'm sure we'll have people who are even in our business now that would say, hey, I'd like to get little accounts started for people in that, and as they earn it, they're going to share it. And
I can just imagine the look on their face and how it will feel in their heart to know that, well, number one, they've gone from being an orphan already to having a place to live where they're loved, cared for, they're getting a great education, they never go hungry. I mean, but then to also know that they have money in the bank and that it's growing over time, so that when it comes time for them to graduate and they're able to take possession of their own wallet, that's just going to put some pep in their step. It's going to get these kids thinking and planning about, what they're going to do with their future, because, even though they're loved and fed and educated and all that, they know that, they don't have any other family, and any extended family they have probably don't have any money, but they have some money. They can't get a hold of it and blow it on bubble gum right now, but it's going to sit there and grow in value as the value of Bitcoin grows or maybe we do it in Bitcoin, maybe we do it in Ethereum. I don't know, but those are just details. But the idea, the concept, I'm excited. And I know
That's
they're
beautiful.
going to be excited. They're going to be excited.
I think people want something that, like you said, people are wanting something valuable to do in their lives. I can't think of sewing into other people's lives financially, but even more than that, coming alongside, giving guidance. I mean, children 13, 14, 15, you talked about the high school, like everyone should be learning about money in a whole different way. There's beautiful series out there that they could watch that would be very high school appropriate. 14, 15-year-olds could watch, example, The Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney. Beautifully, beautifully done. We need to start educating people about money. People have been just run roughshod with money. And I'm not talking whether you're poor or super rich, it doesn't matter. We're not treating money and people well, and we get to change that around. Love to have carry on the conversation with everyone. If somebody wants to reach out and talk with us more, send an email to us. It's on the screen here at goldenjourney1022@gmail.com. That's goldenjourney1022@gmail.com. Put a subject in there at CFRN so we know why you're coming to us, and let's create a conversation, move this forward in the most, probably I think the most dynamic thing I've ever done in my life in terms of, this is disruptive to the networking industry. But you know what? Everybody a year from now is going to look at this and say, that's the only way to do this industry. We actually say people first, money follows, and we believe it, we practice it, we're demonstrating it. I can show the numbers. This isn't an idea in conception. This is an idea that's been birthed, is real. The model is here. We're doing it. We have 87-year-old grandmas making $400 or $500 already in Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's hilarious. It's wonderful. They don't know what it is yet, but it's there, and it's true value going up, as you said, in value, like $400 or $500 right now in Bitcoin. Not a bad day.
Hey, this news article just up on my phone on February 5th, this Friday. A total of $1 billion in Bitcoin options open interest is set to expire. This number is small relative to the past month's $4 billion options expiry, but monthly and quarterly options typically concentrate the most volume. This coming Friday's expiry is somewhat unusual, though. It is balanced at the current BTC levels. Data also shows that bulls have many incentives to push up the price above 38,000. Dearbit Exchange holds 84% market share for Friday's expiration. By analyzing the aggregate open interest between 28,000 and 43,000, there's $300 million worth of neutral to bullish call options stacked against 290 million open interest from put options. Therefore, by analyzing strikes 25% above or below the current BTC price, there's virtually equilibrium from both sides. As per the above data, the neutral to bearish put options are concentrated at 34,000 and below. Between 34,000 and 36,000 strikes, there's a perfect balance as both call and put options are equally matched. Despite the discrepancy below 32,000, bear's incentive to push the price down presents a 3,400 BTC contract imbalance that translates into $109 million open interest for a 13% or more negative price move. Although nominally significant, it doesn't seem enough to create the incentives required to take the bulls by surprise. On the other hand, if bulls want to prop up the price up to 38,000, that would result in a 2,800 BTC contract imbalance. To assess whether market makers and arbitrage desks are pricing the risk for upside or downside, the 30% to 20% delta skew is the most useful indicator. It measures the premium difference between the neutral to bullish. And I know this is Greek for most people. So what let me just distill it. Chances are we'll see 40,000 potentially by Friday. Today's Wednesday, so good trading.
It's a good time to be in. Good time. The invitation is a very simple free registration. Come in, take a look around, get a little package, which has a huge component of that is education around cryptocurrency. Get some G999 coins, so it's like you're exchanging money for money as a part of that package. And but then you're getting the added value of being part of our very rewarding plan of how we build as well. That just kind of built into it as well. So there's a lot that's going on here for us, and we're just looking forward to joining hands with many people. We're seeing it regularly now. It's a fearful year coming up for people, but let's dispel some of the fear and bring some security back with actual care and money coming to people in a way that does not create entitlement, does not create codependency, but actually gives real freedom for people making real choices for themselves and their family. That's our goal.
Amen. Just like with all of my traders know that they can get help around the clock by going to our Telegram discussion group. The Golden Journey has a Zoom room that is open almost around the clock. And so there's always someone there who can help you, answer questions, whatever they may be. You see it on the screen. Send an email to goldenjourney1022@gmail.com. Put CFRN in the subject line. Okay, that doesn't commit you to anything. You're not in the Army now. They'll send you that link. They'll invite you into the room, answer all your questions, and then you can make a well-informed, intelligent decision, if this is right for you. And then once you're involved, we have a Saturday morning meeting at 12 noon Eastern, I think it is. And right. You guys also have a meeting, is it Tuesday nights?
Yeah, we're doing Tuesday nights. We have a lot going on now, so we're just kind of testing the water to see what the community needs from us. We're looking at various times to offer things, and we're just growing with that as well. This is this company, GS Partners, actually, we're still in pre-launch. It doesn't, it's March is actually the official day of launch, so we're kind of getting the best bang for the value right now, being out of pre-launch, and those are fun things to be part of. Also, we've got some growing to do with it, but we're growing in positive ways all the way along here and that. So we're seeing the real, like it's showing up for what it's meant to be. It's I've meditated on this 2x2 build for the last 12 years of my life, and finally I get to do it because there's enough money in the system to make it work for people, because you can't, and we're doing it. We're literally getting that happening now, so it's fun.
Okay, I grabbed the screens, I think. Did I? I did. Okay, well, now this is kind of cool. I can still see you in the little window. Hey guys, can you still see David too? Can you see my screen? And oh, your screen just went away. Nope, it came back.
Yeah, I clicked it off.
Somebody in the audience.
Yes.
Somebody in the audience. Let me.
Yes, we can see both.
No way. That's really cool. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Valerie.
Okay.
Guys, crypto daily info.com. Let's see if it's going to load. The guy's working on it. Okay. He's still got to get the SSL installed. So I'll show you it on this browser where it will let us get in. This is us, cryptodailyinfo.com. This is where you'll come to get all your news. I'm going to probably change this to a different wallet. So just so you know, if you click this, CFRN will earn a commission, blah, blah. But this is your one-stop shop for news about all things crypto. These are headlines just out today. Mark Cuban talks Bitcoin, Ethereum, Brave browser. I mean, it's all here. It's all here. Now, we had this site up and running and working good when the Bitcoin winter came, when Bitcoin crashed from 20 to 3. And so everything just got pushed, you know, onto the back burner for such a time as this. This is what we've been waiting for. And I'm just very happy to have you all with us as part of this journey. And also coming, as soon as my guy can get the work done, g99news.com. I guess he hasn't got that one ready yet. Oh, he just messaged me, Dwayne, I'm talking with the domain host about, okay, good. Now, G99 News, that one should have come up. Let me try again. G999 News. Okay, he's in the middle of changing the pages over, so. All right, well, David, I'll let you run. I know we're way over time. Thanks so much. We look forward to every Wednesday when you come and you hang with us and keep us informed and up to date. You're good people. And everyone I've met that's a part of the Golden Journey, I feel the same way. I just met a ton of good people, and I'm so glad to be a part of the group. So thank you very much.
Yeah, back at you, Dwayne, and see you next week, everyone.
Okay. All right, Ron. God bless.
Bye now.
Take care. All right, guys, we're way past our time, so I'm not going to attempt to go through everything today. I talked about this being a potential bull trap. Well, 20% of the time, guess what? The market does something other than what appears to be the next high probability thing. Okay, we outlined this as a window of opportunity at the beginning of the show. And I think may have been in the room this morning, but we talked about, I think it was 38, 37 up to 38, 39 as a window of opportunity. And so the swing high so far is 39.5. Okay. Now this can keep going, but we do expect there to be resistance here. On the daily chart, remember last week when I drew this line, we had closed the session with a doji, and then the market opened 6 p.m. as it does, closed 5 p.m. Eastern, opened 6 p.m. Eastern. I drew this line. I said anything above that, we want to be looking for longs, below that, looking for shorts. And we dropped to the 24% fib, bounced to red and falling, came back to the 24% fib, and we have now bounced right back up to the area where I drew that line. Okay, so if we get above that line, which is 38, 43, 44, 45, it's an area. We get above it, you got to keep your longs on a short leash, because this high, 38.53, which we identified this morning, okay, in the pre-market strategy session. So that swing high, major resistance. This swing high, that's the all-time historic high, 38.86 and a quarter potential resistance. I will be posting alerts this afternoon in the channel. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Dr. Tom Day, Thursday. But I'll get going early tomorrow and I'll recap every single alert. I already gave you, the important part. I gave you the, where'd it go? Where did it go? Here it is. This is where we stand for the week so far. Week 131, we've issued 50 alerts, 12 never triggered, still waiting on 3, 35 actionable, 2 got stopped out based on not risking more than $300 per contract per trade, less when possible. Okay, so we're coming up on resistance. Okay, this top of this window here, okay, that might be the resistance, but if buyers keep going, Look for resistance here to here. And we get above that, that swing high, it's 43.5. This high is 53, and this high, let's call it 63. 43, 53, 63. Those are your important numbers on the upside where you may find good resistance. Okay. All right. Our good word for the day. Yesterday, we talked about grace. Today, we'll talk about the God we serve is a generous God. 2 Corinthians 9:8. That you always having all sufficiency in all things may have an abundance for every good work. God doesn't just love, he lavishes love on us. 1 John 3:1. 1 John 3:1 says, see what kind of love the Father has given to us, that we should be called children of God. And so we are. The reason why the world does not know us is that it does not know him. He doesn't dole out wisdom. He gives generously to all without finding fault. The prodigal son got the fatted calf. The guests at the wedding in Cana got the best wine. And Peter caught so many fish, his boat started to sink. Paul tells us God supplies seed to the sower. 2 Corinthians 9:10. And the Greek word for supplies comes from two roots. The first means to dance. The second means to lead. It literally means to lead a dance. So when God gives to you, he dances for joy. He strikes up the band and leads the giving parade. God loves to give. In Matthew 19:27, Peter said to Jesus, we have left all and followed you. Therefore, what shall we have? Seems like a good opportunity for Jesus to chastise Peter, because Peter sort of has a what's in it for me mentality, but he didn't. Instead, he assured Peter that we shall receive 100-fold in this life and inherit eternal life as well. Matthew 19:29. In Matthew 19:29, Jesus promises a gain of 10,000%. There's man's economy, there's God's economy. Man's economy says you might be able to earn 2% interest annually on your savings account. In God's economy, whatever it is that you've put your time, your energy, your heart, your life into, in God's economy, according to his word, look for a 10,000% return. Now, please, I'm not saying that any investment vehicle or trading vehicle or anything else you're going to make 10,000% on. I got to get used to this headset. But anyway, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I want you to go to the Bible. I want you to study 2 Corinthians 9:10. I want you to study Matthew 19:27. I'm not going to launch off into one of these prosperity gospel things where you're going to wake up tomorrow and have 2 matching Cadillacs sitting in your driveway. I got nothing against Cadillacs, and I believe that God does want to bless his people. I also believe that that particular type of ministry has been misused, abused, and sometimes I get embarrassed by it. Okay, but that's just me. Now, again, I believe that God wants to bless you and I. He's going to bless us relative to how willing we are to be a blessing to others. Too often we say things like, well, boy, when my ship comes in, I'm going to do this. And when I hit it big, I'm going to do that. And when my company becomes a success, I'm going to do this and this and that. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. You'll be waiting possibly a lifetime. The way to think is, God, this is my heart. My heart is to serve you and to be a blessing to people. I don't have a lot right now, but what I do have, I freely give. Remember when the beggar was panhandling outside of the temple? And what did the disciples say to him? Was that Paul? But you know the scripture I'm talking about. Here, let me give you the exact scripture because it's important. Gold and silver I have not. Acts 3:6. It was Peter. Then Peter said, silver or gold I do not have, but what I do have I give you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, rise up and walk. That's a powerful, powerful thing. So don't wait for God to bless you so that you can be a blessing to others. Okay? You know, take an inventory, assess the blessings that you already have in your life. And, you know, there's somebody somewhere, no matter what your situation is, somebody somewhere is worse off than you are. Find one of those people, there are many, and be a blessing, okay? And, you know, there's something about being a blessing to someone who can never repay you, okay? How does the other scripture go? Even sinners lend money to people so they can collect interest, right? Now, I'm not saying you should just go out and just give all your money away, because you got to pay your light bill. You got to put groceries on your table. But what you do have, and it might not even be money, maybe it's time, you know? Maybe you're saying, well, gosh, I'd be happy to be generous with my money if I had any, but I can't seem to find a job. Okay, well, if you don't have a job, obviously you're spending a number of hours every day looking for a job, right? So spend some of the other hours being a blessing to somebody. Maybe the widow lady down the street can't, you know, cut her own grass. Maybe you could knock on her door and go, hi, I noticed that, you know, you could use I don't want to insult her because of the weeds in her yard, but you know what I'm saying. Or maybe the single mom that lives 2 doors down, you know, she's trying to hold down a job, raise 3 kids, daddy's already, you know, vanished. Maybe little Johnny could, you know, use somebody to throw pitch, to play a game of pitch, throw the ball, throw the football in the park, you know, right across from the house. You got to be careful with this kind of thing today because Lord knows you get accused of anything. But what a blessing that would be to the mom, you know, to have someone else watching Johnny for a few minutes so that she can maybe rest or just get her thoughts together. And Johnny maybe doesn't have a positive male role model in his life. Okay, you tracking with me here? If you don't have money, you probably got some time. If you don't have time because you're working around the clock, hopefully you got some money because you work around the clock. So whatever it is that you do have, whatever it is that God has blessed you with, maybe it's a talent, maybe you sing really well, you know, how can you use that talent to be a blessing? Maybe you go to a nursing home, you know, and sing for the residents. My grandmother used to do that before she went to the retirement home. So however you measure it out, that's how it's going to be measured back to you. So be like Jesus, be generous. Always be generous. Okay, so I got sidetracked, but that's all right. We were talking about man's economy, where you can make 2% on a savings account, or if you operate in God's economy, Scripture says you can look for a 10,000% return. If someone gave you $1,000 today, for every dollar you gave them yesterday, you might call that person God generous. God dispenses his goods not with an eyedropper, but with a fire hydrant, not with a teacup, but with the Pacific Ocean. You simply can't contain it. My cup runneth over. So let it bubble over. Let it spill out. Let it pour forth. People will come and just want to be in the same room as you because your cup runneth over, and they're hoping some will spill over on them. And you should be hoping that same thing. Matthew 10:8. Freely you have received, freely you should give. And that's our good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.